We are joined tonight by a great deal of NPower graduates whose success is what we hold dear, and it's why we're in this room. Please welcome and thank her for her service, Angela Nuno.
Good evening, everyone. It is an honor and a privilege to be here to share my story. I grew up in Dallas, Texas, in an area called Pleasant Grove. But let me tell you, there was nothing pleasant about it. My most unpleasant childhood memory was the day my best friend and I were robbed at gunpoint just 2 blocks from my house. There were also times when the power and water was shut off at home, so my sisters and I had to go to school without showering or brushing our teeth. My parents worked tirelessly to make ends meet, but times were tough for our family. Even though these memories will forever be embedded in my mind, I knew that I did not want this to be my future. I knew I wanted to do better with my life. I am the youngest of 6, and I really did not want to be a financial burden to my parents. So at the age of 17, I enlisted into the world's greatest Navy as a hospital corpsman, medical technician. Joining the Navy, thank you. Joining the Navy was one of my greatest decisions in life. Our core values of honor, courage, and commitment are permanently instilled in me. I served my country for 5 years. In 2013, I completed my service and received my honorable discharge, but I wasn't sure my next career choice. For the first time in a long time, I had a feeling of loneliness and uncertainty, but I was certain of one thing. I was not going to move back to Pleasant Grove. By then, my son Alexander was 1 year old, and the last thing I wanted for him was for him to be exposed to a childhood like mine. So I moved to Florida for a fresh start and worked on an Air Force base. Everything seemed to be coming together, or so I thought. I will never forget the day I received that phone call. You know, the devastating one that you never want to receive. I was informed that my mom was involved in a horrific car accident and was severely hurt, that she might not make it. I learned that my mom had been internally decapitated and needed major surgery that only gave her 2% chance of survival. I immediately dropped everything and I did the unthinkable. I moved back to Dallas. I was in a mental fog and I didn't know what to expect, but a miracle happened. I'm happy to say that against all odds, my mom survived the surgery. I was so relieved, but settling back in Pleasant Grove was tough. The bills kept coming, and someone had to pay them. So I began working as a dental assistant. While in the clinic one day, I began talking to a patient who is an NPower alumni. He told me about this free program that teaches veterans IT fundamentals and helps with internship and job placement. Feeling unfulfilled in my career, I decided to take a chance, and I applied at NPower. This was exactly the kind of career change that I had been praying for. During my lunch break, I rushed over in my scrubs, and I interviewed with the staff. Nervous and excited to meet the NPower team, I knew this was the challenge I needed. A week later, I received the news that I had been accepted to the program. There was no guarantee that this program would be fruitful, but I had to believe in the process, and I had to believe in myself. I worked my last shift as a dental assistant on a Saturday, and the following Monday began learning IT fundamentals. I learned how to put together a computer, turn it on, and it actually worked. So for all of you in the room tonight who know computers, all I can say is, holy motherboard. During my days in class, I was able to build more than just computers. I was able to build friendships with like-minded people. Today, I can say that I am proudly IT fundamentals and ITIL certified. I'd like to thank Daniel and Ruby for being amazing instructors, and thank a wonderful personal development team who helped me with the interview process. Because of NPower, I'm fortunate enough to get selected for an internship with Citi Group. Because of WWT, I transitioned seamlessly into an IT Apprentice. When I arrived at Citi, I was not sure how I would fit in as a female in another male-driven industry. But the mobility ops team has taken me under their wing, and they've treated me with the utmost respect and equality. Looking back to a year ago, I would not have been able to predict how far I've come. All thanks to my family, NPower, their partnerships with Worldwide Technology and Citi. Thanks to NPower, I have found a career I can continue to build on. Thanks to NPower, I have found lifelong friends. Thanks to NPower, I can provide a better life for my son. Thanks to NPower, the future is no longer uncertain. Thank you all.